happy Monday. I hope everyone had a good holiday if you're in the US. The 4th of July was Friday, so I hope everyone had a nice long weekend and is ready to be productive this week. I don't know if anyone's been watching, but Ryan Trahan, he is the next, or I mean, he's already a big YouTuber, but he's on Mr. Beast's coattail, I'll say. And he's doing this awesome series. We've been watching it every day. It's called The Coolest 50 Airbnbs in 50 Days. And he's going from state to state, him and his wife, Haley. And it's just such a wholesome experience. It's really, I think, what everyone is looking for in content. Something that's real, something that's relatable. And then not only is the series really cool, he's also doing a donation fundraiser for St. Jude. So that's pretty cool. Everyone loves to support St. Jude. It's nice that no one has to leave with a bill from there because you're already entering with, bad circumstances. So it's nice to see these people get some grace and some light in a very hard situation. So hats off to Ryan for a very creative series. He, like I said, he is one of the top content creators. So he, you get, I think it's $50,000 donation, then the Wheel of Doom will go off and they have to spin it, and whatever it lands on is a task that they have to deal with. So I'm thinking Mark, the science guy, is the one that made the Wheel of Doom for them. The objective is to see or to sleep in all 50 states in 50 days. So the series will be showing every day for 50 days, which is really cool. Like I said, we've really been enjoying watching it ourselves. It's something that you can watch with anyone. One thing we miss about cable is watching Wheel of Fortune together. Wheel of Fortune was just like a nostalgic thing for my family. I would watch it with my grandmother when she would babysit me in the summertime. So Ryan Trahan's series is something comparable to that. It's just something wholesome that you can watch together. And I hate to put the heat on Ryan, but the one Airbnb that is in #1 right now for the coolest Airbnb is Treetopia in Oklahoma. And I've already been there, Ryan. So it was definitely the best Airbnb that we've stayed in. If you want to go check it out on my page, I have a video posted. It's a little bit further down, but it's called Discovering the Magic of Treetopia. I would highly recommend this stay if you are in Oklahoma. Just a word of advice. Treetopia is cheaper in the off season. So we went in the fall. It would be beautiful to go in the summertime, but I'm sure the bugs will be crazy. But right now on Ryan Trahan's series, it is #1. It's been #1 for a while. It's a very small little Airbnb, but when I tell you the attention to detail is unbelievable. You take the treehouse is like built up in a valley, and you take a drawbridge across to the treehouse. And as you're crossing the drawbridge, there is a waterfall to your right. It is actually a man-made waterfall, so you can turn it on and off. It's really cool. Then you walk down the drawbridge, and when I tell you like the small details, like they put eyes and mouths on the trees, so it's like you're walking through like Alice in Wonderland enchanted forest. Like the coolest thing. The only drawbridge I think I've ever been on. Maybe in like a little park or something, but it was just so cool. The entry into the Airbnb, and then once you get into the treehouse, it's 3 stories. Right whenever you walk into the front door, there's a clear part of the floor that you can see down under the treehouse. Underneath the treehouse has even more like fun, cool features. Like I said, I would highly recommend it, even if you can only afford to go for a night. Most of the other places in Oklahoma are pretty affordable, so you can spend a week somewhere out there and then go to Treetopia for a night or two. That's what we did. We ended up negotiating a third night because there was a window with an open day. So because it was so expensive, and the owners, they were very nice, but it was a new property, so they weren't budging much on the price. So I told them, I was like, listen, I have $500 for this day that's open before we go. Let me know if we can get that. And they bid, so that is an option. They do negotiate. You can also book directly through their website, and it'll be a good bit cheaper there. So I think it's okidoki.com or okidokicabins.com. But it is still in first place. So you guys, if you want to check out the details, I do have a video on my page. Then like I said, the treehouse is built up above a valley, and then there's this whole little section downstairs with swings and like a big pendant that you can like watch or read a book in, I'm sorry. But the only way to get to the bottom of the treehouse is a slide. And when I tell you the slide was so fast, it scared me. It was really fun. It brings out like the kid in you. So then you take the spiral slide down. And at the bottom there are swings, which was like a little simple thing, but we had so much fun. It just brought out like, you know, your childhood instincts, and it was just really, really cool. They have an outdoor projector, a little movie theater. They have a cargo net on the 3rd story of the treehouse. The details are really endless. And then Ryan didn't highlight in the video, which I don't know why. I don't know if he didn't know that it was there, or the people that were editing his video didn't notice the footage. But on the 1st floor of the treehouse, but the treehouse is elevated, there is a roll-out bed. The bed rolls out into nature. We thought that was pretty cool. We definitely did it. It started raining, so we just rolled right back in. They have an outdoor tub. They have a sauna, a cold plunge, a jacuzzi. Like, when I say that these people thought about every little detail, it's not a whole lot of square feet, it's not a whole lot of room, but everything is so well thought out and meticulously planned that it's really unbelievable. So I would definitely recommend to go check out Ryan's series. Ryan Trahan. It's called, I'm sorry, his last name is spelled Trahan. And like I said, he's going around to all 50 states in 50 days with his wife Haley. And I think really what people love most about Ryan is just how simple he is. He's just a simple guy. He's a young guy who's married, which is admirable. And it's just cute, you know. It's like you get to see their little daily routines, their little funny inside jokes. And like I said, I hate to say it, Ryan, but I'm 2 steps ahead of you because I've already been to the Airbnb. I've thought about doing all 50 states and Airbnb. I didn't really think of a category like you did, so I'm taking notes. But he is one of the biggest YouTubers right now, and it's easier to take notes from him than Mr. Beast, because Mr. Beast has this huge production now and doesn't really thrive off of his personality like Ryan does. Ryan's like super awkward, which I really love about him. He'll put, like, instead of taking out the awkward clips, like, he'll put them in, which is pretty funny. Or like just like the struggles, you know, because people don't always want to see the perfect filming that you do. There's a lot of mistakes and errors and just like funny bloopers and stuff. So that's something that he includes into his edits, which is why I think people do cling on to him. But definitely go check out my video on Treetopia. And just to put it into context, you know, never in a million years would I think that Ryan Trahan would affect my YouTube. But as soon as the series came out and Treetopia was #1, my video stats, so I was like, I mean, how cool is that? So like, it just, you know, is some motivation to always keep going. You never know where two roads will intersect for you. So it's very important to just keep moving. And I knew that Treetopia was good content, but the algorithm just doesn't understand me yet, is what I think. So once Ryan posted about it, got the word out, then my video stats went up and my watch time has gone up. So thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Haley. Haley is his wife. She also has a YouTube channel, and she does like reading type content. She's a little bookworm, and she actually just got a book published called Just Friends. I think you can only pre-order it, but I might be pre-ordering it so I can read it this summer. I'm gonna go check it out once I get to my computer and see when it can be picked up or pre-ordered by. But they're both just like a young little couple trying to make it on YouTube and just show their average everyday lives, and it's really, really relatable compared to a lot of the other content that we see. So like I said, check out my video first and then go check out Ryan's series. It's really fun to watch. They're a little over halfway through, so it'll go on for another 20 something days. And like I said, it's just motivating for me, because when I saw, I was like, oh my god, Ryan's staying at the same place that we stayed at, and Haley's cooking on the same stove that we stayed at. Oh my god, it's the same bed we stayed in. And then all of a sudden, you know, my watch hours and stuff start going up. So I thank you, Ryan. Also, if you want to donate to St. Jude, if you're trying to find a good deed for the week. Hey everybody, what's up? I'm glad you guys are joining. Happy Monday. We're just trying to find some motivation to get us going for the week. But if you want to donate to St. Jude, you can do it via Ryan's YouTube. You can also go like his Instagram or his candy Joyride, which Joyride is a really cool concept. Everyone's jumping on board now because it's being put out there, the information, but we always talk about trying to keep ourselves clean as possible and prevent as many chemicals as possible if we can. And candy is a huge source of chemicals, over processing, excess sugar, food dyes, like the list goes on and on. The more that you think about it, the kids really eat all the poison, you know. So Ryan's Joyride candy does eliminate all of the icky stuff. It doesn't have any artificial coloring, and it has less sugar than most candies. So hats off to Ryan for trying to change that sector, because it's just like, why would we put artificial stuff in our food if we don't want it? If the kids don't know it, it's not there, it won't hurt them. And then like, also these additives and stuff, they cost money. So usually big corp's like, yeah, let's take it out, it'll reduce our costs. Well, not this time. So it just makes my little wheel start turning. It's like, why do they want to keep it in the food? Is there an incentive? Are they getting paid for it? Are they getting the chemicals for free? I know it makes the product last longer, but like I said, they're gonna have to figure it out, just like the rest of middle America. You know, it's like we don't get all these backdoor passes, all these exemptions, and we're not above the law like a lot of these arbitrary protected businesses. Like, why wouldn't the big guys have to answer? If the little guys have to answer, why don't the big guys have to answer? Like, they're just always protected. and it's like, oh, we're gonna poison the whole world, but just look away, please, you know? But if you were a small business owning a restaurant doing the same thing, they would shut you down in a second. So the double standard is annoying. But Ryan, props to you for not only doing it for the right reasons, but getting ahead of the big dogs that didn't want to let go of the chemicals. So, like I said, hats off to Ryan for that. He's a good dude. He has good intentions, and I think he's going to go far on YouTube. He's going to be a good example for the kids. It's not all about the glitz and the glamour. Sometimes regular life is cool and can be fun. So that's my motivation for the week for sure. Me and my husband were like, oh my God, did Ryan watch our video on his research? You know, like, so just always keep it moving. You never know when an opportunity is going to come your way. And if you don't put yourself out there, it'll never come your way. So you always just have to be motivated. Not every opportunity is going to come to fruition, but then you just hop on to the next one. You know, like, people don't realize that success doesn't happen instantly and overnight. It happens from a lot of hard work, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't see. And a lot of people are just scared to take that chance, you know, and I get it. It is scary to take a leap, but if you don't take the leap, then you'll be stuck exactly where you are. So always try to do better every week, to be better. If you haven't mastered your job yet, then show up and do better. Impress your boss. Show your boss that you're valuable. And say you've mastered your job, you show that you're valuable, and they're not giving you any more credit or money, then that means that you've outgrown that job, and that you need to find somewhere where all of the skills that you've been working on to become the best employee at your current place will put your foot in the door to the next job. So don't look at it as I'm not getting recognized or I'm not getting what I need out of the job. Look at it as an opportunity, as a stepping stone. If they're going to treat you like a stepping stone, then do the same. Treat them like a stepping stone. It's not about taking advantage, but it is about meeting them with equal force. Because big corporation, I mean, not even big corporation, any business with more than 20 employees, unfortunately, you're just a number, and they don't want to overpay people. And you have to understand that. It's like, yes, you've been there forever. Yes, you've been committed to the company, but is it feasible to be able to pay you another $20,000? It's not always the case, you know. It seems like it's easy on your boss's side, but your boss has struggles and issues that they have to deal with too, you know, like payroll and bad month, sometimes a bad year, and that paycheck still has to keep rolling regardless if the business is not profitable or is profitable. So they're taking all the risk, and if, you know, one day that could be you taking that risk, and you could be getting the reward and the risk. So there's always pros and cons to every position that you're in. You just want to always take advantage of the knowledge that you're given, the circumstances that you're given. Like, now that I'm older, I would always be like, why aren't there any good jobs for us? There's no good jobs. Well, now that we've been in the workforce for so long, we know how to do customer service, we know how to do paperwork, we know how to do computer work, we know how to have management skills, we know how to troubleshoot. So you walking into a business that would have never even considered you for a management job will now, because of all of the experience that you have. So if you're not happy in your current workplace, that's okay. Most people aren't, you know, to be honest. Work is not or shouldn't be the highlight of our life. It should just be something that helps us, you know, provide shelter and comfort for our family. But we do want to be able to find a happy spot in the workforce. So take advantage of what you're given this week. whether it's a good manager, a bad manager that you can take notes from, like this is what not to do. If you have a good manager, this is what to do. So you can learn those skills for the future, and then hopefully be able to move up on the pay scale and up the ladder. And that's just kind of how it works, you know. People don't want to hear, oh, well, you have to have the experience. Experience is much more valuable than school will ever be for you, okay? Let me say that one more time. Experience is so much more valuable than school will ever be. Like, if you're young and you're watching this right now, go find a trade. Go be a plumber. Go be an electrician. You will find wealth before everyone else that goes to school. Trust me. Like, not only will you find wealth, you'll be self-employed. You won't have to listen to anyone else's crap. And it's a small business. It's something that computers can't put out of business. A computer can't fix a toilet. A computer can't fix an air conditioner. So the people that did pick up those trades in my age group are some of the wealthiest people. So definitely something to consider. School is smoke and mirrors to a certain extent, depending on what you go for. If you go for nursing or if you go for education, don't go for just some frivolous thing like business or, you know, something like that. You can learn business from doing business. You know, like, experience is key. So just keep that in mind. You guys go check out my video on Treetopia and check out Ryan's series and go donate to St. Jude, even if it's just a little bit. Or if you go follow and like his Instagram and his Joyride page, then that donates a cent to St. Jude, so you can say that you did something good this week. Have a good one, you guys.